Hi, my name is Lainey and welcome to Ginger Reads. For my first book review, I read ENCLAVE by Ann Aguirre, and as you can see, I already started reading the second book, but more about that later. So what this book's about is about these enclaves underneath New York City, I'm assuming in the subways. It's a dystopian young adult. We learn that they don't live very long down there, I'm assuming because they never see the sun. And we follow this girl named Deuce, and it opens with her naming ceremony because down in the enclaves, they really don't have names until they're about 16 years old. Her first name was Girl 15. Anyway, so they pick up like a card with 2 on it. I'm assuming like a playing card, and it's Deuce. So that's her name. There are 3 jobs you can have in the enclave. It's builder, breeder, or huntress. Deuce becomes huntress. In the enclave, she is a hunter, or she goes out and protects the people. Now, what we learn is there are these things that they call freaks down in the enclave. It kind of has like this zombie feel to it. It kind of reminded me of I Am Legend. What they have to do is catch game and defend the enclave against these freaks. So Deuce's partner is Fade, and he's a boy a little bit older than her. He was not born in the college enclave, which is the name of their enclave. They let him come into their enclave after they found him in the tunnels, and he doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the enclave, but Deuce gets to know him, they become partners, and I found out that partners is a pretty big theme, double meaning word that goes throughout the entire book, and I really enjoyed that. Basically, Fade and Deuce get exiled from the enclave where they have to go topside. Now, topside is the city. Fade was from topside before he found himself into the tunnels, and Deuce has never been topside, obviously, before. So, that's kind of where I'll leave off on the synopsis because it gets really good after that. And next we will get into the spoiler section, the book discuss. So, if you haven't read the book yet, go read the book and then come back here, and I want to know everything you guys have thought about it because I had so many opinions about this book and I want to know what you guys thought as well. So let's talk about these characters. Deuce, you know what, I really admired the fact that she's really not that book smart. She's seeing words and pictures and things that she doesn't really understand, and I really admired that about her. I thought that was a very good trait for that, and she's so strong in her physical fighting and everything, and then yet she doesn't know what a wolf is, or she can't see the sun, she doesn't like it, she's afraid of it, she's afraid of thunder and lightning. I thought that was a very, very good character flaw of hers that offset the very strong, independent aspect of her. Fade, I really did like Fade. I really liked Fade. I thought that name was insane for him. I thought it was very good. I liked the Fade name better than I liked the Deuce name. But yeah, he seems very mysterious. I really liked how his characteristics is, I don't really care about you, but secretly I do. And I think that worked very well for the story. He lost everything. He doesn't have any friends in the enclave besides Banner, who gets killed. I really liked Fade and Deuce's dynamic, and the partner aspect of their relationship I thought was great. Tegan, who we meet later when they go topside, kind of indifferent about her. I hadn't had this feeling that she was kind of like Rue in the Katniss situation, but I mean, she was okay. I didn't care really for her or against her. I thought she was gonna die, but she didn't, and I'm okay with that. I guess I just didn't really care about her. Stalker, I really like Stalker, and I know that's probably I'm in the minority, but I don't know, for some reason I think he just, obviously I didn't like him in the beginning, but I really liked what he said to her about better remember that I saved you. I really hope that comes up in the second or the third book, because I think I just really liked him. But then again, I do like the crazies in books. So obviously there's like this love triangle in here, and their love triangle is probably the most realist love triangle I've read in a while, because I don't know, I feel like some of these other triangles, like obviously Twilight and the Hunger Games, I always felt like the one that they didn't choose wasn't really in the game to begin with. But I don't know, I feel like Stalker had like a fighting chance in the end, where they were finding like rabbits and stuff, and you like put her up against the tree. I love that part. It's like my favorite Stalker part. But I really liked his character development, as small as it was, because oops, dropped something. No, but his character development I thought was great for the story. How he was this leader of the wolves, as we learn, but then he kind of changes throughout the story and becomes more like, I think he's a great contrast from Fade. I'm really interested to see what happens with him in the second book, I won't lie. Did you guys like Stalker? I want to know. Put in the comments below. I want to know what you guys thought of him. The zombies slash something of the story. I thought it was a nice touch, and I really liked how different the zombies were, because we learn they can pretty much be killed like any human can. It's not like to the brain and they die. I thought that was a very good on the author's point to like twist the zombie lore a little bit. They're really freaky, and you can definitely tell towards the end how they become a little bit more smarter, and they're strategizing a little bit more, and they're running in packs that they're obviously going to be a focal point of like the next 2 books. So I'm really interested to see how the freaks fit into the story, because at first, at least in the first part of this story, I thought they were almost secondary. Like, you knew that they were kind of doing something when they destroyed the Nassau enclave, but who knows? Interested to see how that goes. Okay, so one thing that really bothered me in this book, and I don't have many complaints about it, but I really hated the time gap. How something like monumental would happen between Deuce or Fade, or Deuce and Stalker, and then the next chapter is 2 weeks later. I don't know, that really bothered me. Like, I love like getting very deep into those relationships, and so if something big happens, I don't want to know 2 weeks later, because I feel like something would have happened in those 2 weeks, and I really wanted to know what happened. So that was like one of my biggest complaints about the story, but overall I really enjoyed it. Also, another thing that kind of got on my nerves was first half of the story. I'll admit, it took me kind of a while to get through this, but after they went topside, after Deuce and Fade went topside, I was like, I finished it in a day. But like that first like part when they're in the enclave, in the tunnels, took me a while to get through that. I don't know if that happened to you guys. Did it? I don't know, let me know. Sometimes like the paragraphs ran really long with those when they were traveling to Nassau, and then they took like 6 days, and I know they're running through tunnels, I get it, but I don't know, that took me a while to get through. Did anybody else have a really hard time pronouncing Fade's real name? So it's Semyon, and it's only mentioned like 3 or 4 times throughout the book, but every time I got to it, I like stayed on it for 5 minutes. So I'm like, how do you pronounce this? Is it a weird way of Simone, but that's kind of like a girl's name? Semyon? I don't know. How did you guys pronounce it? I have no idea. As I said before, I really, really enjoyed the partner dynamic of this entire book, and I love the double meanings behind it, and I did highlight a passage because I wanted to read it again. Fade and Deuce talking, and one thing about this partner thing in the Enclave is that you have each other's back no matter what. It's like this unconditional trust thing that I love. So Fade says, my dad had a partner. I don't remember her. Oh, I wondered if his dad had been a hunter too. Some topside variety I didn't know about. The whole world could be populated with people like Stalker. I love Stalker. And then Fade says, she was my mother. So many feels. Anybody else love that passage? I love that passage. Anyway, thanks for enduring my first book review. It's probably terrible, even though I haven't edited it yet. But look out for more. I'm reading Outpost, which is the second book in the series right now. If you guys have read it, tell me if you guys liked it or not. And thanks for watching this book review / book discuss. Thanks. I read Enclave by Anne Maguire. Not McGuire.